Hi guys! So not so long ago, a couple of people asked me to compare these two products. Now I've just picked this one up and I'm realising side by side it might be a little bit dark. I mean, for sure it's a little bit dark for me anyway, but so is the IT Cosmetics CC cream, and I thought, I want it to kind of look similar because I'm going to do side by side face, but this might end up being a bit too dark. So full disclosure, but it's going to be a wear and compare of the IT Cosmetics CC cream, which I am a big fan of, and the Dream Urban Cover from Maybelline, which is relatively new. I know there are other videos like this, which is why I didn't do it, but it has been requested. So instead of doing 2 days, because they are such similar products, in theory, I mean, definitely this is supposed to be, they are at very least like pretending this is a dupe for this product, wouldn't you say? Even if the products end up being completely different, that is the vibe that they're giving you with this packaging. I'm going to do face side by side in a day. A couple of things to note. I'm not doing anything today. I'm just cleaning in the house. So in fact, I should probably take this off first because I'm not going to be able to wear this and I don't want to hang on. I'm definitely going to get too sweaty to wear a hoodie to be cleaning the house. Also, just a note, I haven't had any energy drinks in, is it 2 weeks or is it 3 weeks? At least 2 weeks. And I had a cup of coffee about an hour ago, so that's why I'm talking so fast. I'm also not going to apply a great deal of makeup on top of this. I really want to see how the foundations wear. So let's kick off with the IT Cosmetics CC cream. I am going to just apply a tiny bit of moisturiser first. It's not a moisturiser, it's this serum from Aldi. Really enjoying it. Doesn't this seem really bright? It's like everything's very blown out. It's this strange, bright yet dull weather that we're having. Yeah, this serum is amazing. It's like a super, super light moisturiser, really. And it absorbs very quickly, but it's just kind of the perfect amount of something. I do like a half a pump to wear underneath makeup. Also, I am going to film something later on today or tomorrow about hair removal. So I do have a good amount of stubble, effectively, on my chin. I mentioned that because if it kind of gathers or clings or whatever, we're going to come back to that at the end. It's worth mentioning this area may be a little bit different. However, that is definitely useful because some of you may have the same problem that I do, have a good amount of facial hair. And the reason that I've got this right now is I wanted to film a video about how I deal with my facial hair. And so I kind of am letting it grow out just a little bit so that you can actually see. Because oftentimes I'll talk about it and I think people don't understand what I'm really dealing with. They think I'm just talking with like a little bit of peach fuzz. No, actual black stubble. So bear that in mind. So here we go. I'm going to put it on the back of my hand and be professional. For a CC cream, I think it gives a decent amount of coverage. I mean, you can see a huge difference in, I've got a lot of redness. I mean, not a lot of redness, but for me, I can see a lot of redness compared to this side. Just a lot of like unevenness. I do have a decent amount of pigmentation from the sun. And this really does just perfect everything while allowing you to see through enough for it not to be like a super high coverage mask, which is what I really like about this product. It's also very, very nice if you've got dehydrated or not oily skin, dehydrated or dry skin, because it doesn't cling to those areas at all, in my experience. It's going to be interesting to come back at the end of the day and really look at it in a way that I haven't perhaps since I first got it, because your skin changes all the time and perhaps I'll see something different. Also worth mentioning, this was sent to me originally, probably a year or so ago. They originally sent me like some minis of it and I completely fell in love. Then they sent me the full size. So it was a PR sample, it was a gifted item, whereas this I just went and bought from Tesco myself. However, something you I suppose still do need to know is that Maybelline have sent me products in the past. Full disclosure, this is definitely darker. I made a mistake. We will at least be able to tell the difference between the sides because of that. Perhaps this will be my summer foundation if I like it, because it's definitely too dark for me right now. Okay, so one of my Instagram friends, Alana, she was one of the contributors to my blog. Hello, if you're watching. She told me that she had tried both of these products on her hand, or tried the Maybelline one on her hand in Boots or something, and she thought it came across as like a lot thicker, a lot chalkier, not perhaps the same texture at all. I would say, applying them, they are very, very similar. I mean, it's hard to say because obviously there's light on different sides of my face as I'm looking, but the finish and the coverage is very, very similar, very comparable. I would say perhaps the Maybelline is a little drier. It hasn't got quite that same sheen Like up here, this is maybe just the tiniest bit more natural than this side. Hard to say. I'm going to go in closer. Hey, I'm going to look into a little mirror down here and hopefully you can see in the viewfinder. I'm not telling whether or not you can, but hopefully you can see the texture. So I have like a section on both sides with like where my pores are a little bit more enlarged, just kind of here and here. I would say they're both kind of doing exactly the same thing. If anything, the IT Cosmetics maybe just slightly more sitting in my pores on this side than the Maybelline one is on this side. Also, I have a little bit, let me just see if I can blend that out. Maybe so. I do have a little bit of hair here, and I'd say both gathered just a tiny amount, and not really any issues with my chin. Just kind of around this section, I'm seeing a little bit of like gathering together, and the same kind of around my eyebrows. The Maybelline definitely has more liquid to it. It's a strange thing because they are very, very similar, but this is the thicker one. I kind of expected the Maybelline one to have a little bit more to it. But in actual fact, this is a lot more liquidy, and this has got a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a lot more weight to it. Also, I mean, they're not a million miles away, but I tried to get a similar shade and I failed. Just going to apply a little bit of powder. This is the, I'm actually using a few Maybelline products. The Fit Me powder from Maybelline that I'm enjoying right now. Just enough to set, but I don't want to like add a lot. And I am very aware that it's kind of a really muggy, humid day. Is muggy a word where you're from? I'd love to know. It means humid effectively. It means just like, ugh. That kind of like, it's warm, but it's rainy and it's rubbish kind of weather. And that is definitely the day that we're having. So the chances of it wearing, because I'm like feeling sweaty and gross anyway, are high. And on top of that, we've got the fact that I'm going to be cleaning. I'm also going to use this, oh man, I need to take off the security bit. This Maybelline mascara. Do you remember? I used to love the Lash Sensational. Don't tell my dentist. The Lash Sensational mascara was my favourite. And I thought I'd pick it up again. Although I do remember it was never as good straight away. I used to leave it with the cap off or like slightly unscrewed for a couple of days and then it was perfect. But oh man, I'm already excited for this to dry out and just be like the mascara that I remember it being. I mean, it's pretty good immediately, to be fair. So I'm going to take some pictures. In fact, I'm just going to put a little bit of the Dior Lip Maximizer on. I don't have any lip balm up here. I don't know why. It's all managed to go downstairs. So I'll put this on in lieu of lip balm. So I'll take some close-up pictures so we can kind of compare properly at the end. And we shall see how this wears. So far, just looking, and I've looked really, really close in the mirror, it is very, very similar. I don't think you could tell, number one, that this was two different foundations, and number two, which was which, just from the initial application. I'm very interested to see whether or not that changes throughout the day, but at least right now, entirely comparable. This is rough. It has been 6 hours, and I have just really examined my skin in the mirror. I've taken a bunch of pictures, and I can see a difference, but it is so minimal. It's like negligible for most people, I would guess. This area here, my entire chin, it's pretty much lost coverage on all sides. I'm possibly a chin toucher. I don't really think about it, but maybe I am. The smallest amount up here, I know that it's like super overexposed. Let me see if I can bring it down, hang on. Okay, I brought down the exposure a little bit so you can kind of see the texture of my skin a little bit better. So kind of just here, I think it's kind of clung to some dryness that on the other side, I don't think I can see. Like there's a little bit of kind of scaliness here. Now, I don't know for sure that there's just not a little bit more dryness here than there is on this side, but I would guess that there isn't. So just this small amount here. Also, that little area here where I told you is kind of my tester area. This is all still pretty good coverage-wise. And this, I feel like it's worn more here than it has here. I would say that the IT Cosmetics side has worn better. It is longer wearing. If I had to make a call, this is the better foundation. However, it's such a small difference. I mean, some of you may be watching this like, oh my God, it's night and day. Maybe. But for me, looking in the mirror, it's not huge. And if you want to save a little bit of money, this is a very, very nice foundation. I'm going to move you into a different light just to give you a little bit of a better look at this. It is later in the day and I'm struggling for light. So this is the IT Cosmetics side. I think that's actually really impressive. I already liked the foundation, but it has... I was wondering whether or not I was going to be proven wrong. And then, to me, this looks like it could have been much more recently applied. And this looks like what I'm used to my foundation looking like at the end of the day, because I can be quite oily. And it is that kind of muggy weather as well. More shine, more wear, but nothing that a little bit of blotting and powdering wouldn't fix. I would say that if you are looking to splurge, this is probably worth the splurge, but it's not so much more that I would say, this is terrible, this is great. I think they are still very, very similar. If you've tried these two, or if you've tried one or the other, please let us know in the comments, because one person's review is not enough. When you're talking about foundation especially, sorry, taking the exposure down has really affected how much light we get. But yeah, one person's review is really not enough when it comes to products like this. It's like certain things like foundation and mascara, so personal, and the more reviews we get, the better. So just because I like it doesn't mean that you will like it too. Maybe you like this one more. Please let us know. And if you would like me to pit anything else against each other, I love these wear and compares. They're really, really fun, especially when I do it in one day and we can actually see side by side. I always, because when I do it like one day and then the next day, the conditions could always be different. And I kind of think, I can't 100% remember what it was like yesterday. I'm relying on my notes, and later on I'm relying on looking at footage and stuff. And I definitely prefer the side-by-side reviews. So let me know. Maybe I'll do a whole, like a high-end versus low-end. That used to be a really fun video to do, like every single product on one side versus the other side. Let me know. But thank you for watching. I'll leave these linked below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.